Hi everyone. Today we're coloring a light wicker basket. I am coloring in Fairy Touch of Miracles by Klara Markova, but you can apply this to any wicker basket that you want to make the light color. There's another set of baskets on this page that I'm going to do in a darker color palette. So when those are done, I will link that video at the end of this one. I am using Irojiten pencils today. These are the 4 colors in the order that I will use them in. Let's color these baskets. This is just the base layer, so I am not too worried about getting it precise. Just kind of doing a light wash over the whole thing. Okay, there's the base. Now to start darkening the recessed areas. This is where you start to create the idea of depth. So you do the darker colors, obviously at the spots that are farther away or in shadow. This is just the first step of that. The Irojiten pencils are fairly hard, but they work really well on the paper in this book. But you can make a lot of layers, and I'm learning to have patience and make a lot of layers instead of trying to press really hard all the time like I would with my Prismacolors maybe that don't layer quite as well for me. So we're going to go through this process a few times with these colors to get it to look like that over there. section right there. Okay, third color. Back and deepen those colors till we get to there's what we want. Deepen those, cover over that base coat a little bit more. It's always, for me at least, better to do it a little at a time because you can always go farther. But if you do too much, it's harder to back out and start over again. Some colors erase better than others. Do this layer, I'm just trying to tone down the yellow a little bit more, and so when I do this part I go very lightly, and I can already see a stroke in there where I went too hard in the previous layer, but hopefully it'll blend in okay. I'm just trying to get rid of a little bit of that yellow, turn it a little more golden. The good thing about wicker is that it's imperfect. It has different strands. So when I color wicker and wood both, especially tree branches like these, it's very forgiving, and you can be a little rougher because the pencil marks can look like texture of the wicker or the wood. Now unfortunately, the way I'm doing it this time, the wicker is kind of going to use that excuse. My pencil marks are kind of going the wrong way, but hopefully at the end it'll all blend in together. It's darker where the shadows and the seams are, and lighter pressure in the middle. And then when you get underneath where the ribbon is going to be, you can go darker again, so it'll be in shadow. This is the second item on a page, and I want to make it match, obviously, the first one. You get to a certain point, you've kind of got to sit back and compare and see what else it needs. This needs more darks in the shadows, or more yellow, or more brown. If there's just one thing on a page, you don't have to worry about that quite so much, but I'm trying to make it match at least a little bit, usually. Either make it match or make it so different that it's obviously not trying to be the same thing. I could make one red or something. darker to match this one. So I'm going to do this some more. Be careful not to add too much. Learning not to be afraid of the shadows. So I'm trying to press really hard here in the middle to give the appearance that these are deep grooves in these baskets, because that's what I want. If you wanted a smoother appearance, you wouldn't necessarily have to do this, but because of the shadow lines that were drawn by the illustrator, that's just what I think it calls for. So, but you don't have to do it that way. More shadow underneath where the ribbon's going to be. More their first color, the Dandelion. Not too much though. And then, to kind of help blend everything together, I'm going to do this last color, the Eggshell, but only in the lighter. I'm not going to press too much in the creases in there, because I want those to stay dark, and I don't want to have to do a whole nother layer of shadows. I know some people can put down a bajillion layers, but this is already more than I normally do. I'm learning. It's always a process, learning new techniques, but I tend to want to achieve a pleasant effect without spending a ton of time, because that is not fun for me. The fun is seeing the colors come together, and then I'm ready to move on. So, compare those. Looks pretty close. I might have added maybe a hair more yellow in this one, but it's not too bad. I think I will call that done for now. Yeah, well, maybe the bottoms of this basket are a hair darker, so I'm going to add a little bit more there just to balance it out a little bit more. Okay, the light wicker baskets are done. You can click this link for the video on dark wicker baskets on this same page. Thanks and have a great day.